our week eight coming into after 8 full weeks, coming into week 9, we have our weigh-ins. So let's jump on the scale and see how you did.
Melissa Hager, 209.2.
Crystal, 114.8.
Ayla, 132.
This is Janine, 194.2.
Good morning, Jen Ratchford, 177.6.
Jennifer Strickland, 187.6.
Kristin Teeter, 281.5. 228.6.
All right. So in first place, after 8 full weeks, last week losing 5.7, 42.7 overall, 13.17%, increasing her lead, Kristin. Like she is at this point pulling away from the pack a little bit. So awesome job again last week, Kristin. You're killing it, girlfriend. Reclaiming the second place spot, moving back up to second place, losing 1.8 last week, 14 total, 10.86%. Crystal, whoop whoop, our traveling Vegas, winner chicken dinner girl, making it happen in Vegas, which is like, what do they call it, Sin City?
There was no chicken dinner, but just saying.
Oh, awesome job, Crystal. Awesome job. Third place, down 1.6, 15.8 total, 10.69%. Kayla, look at the littler girls locking up the top spots, man. Look at them. Fourth place, down 1.6, 19.7 altogether. So close to 20 pounds, 10.41%. Paula. In fifth place, down 4.4 pounds last week, 25, hit the 25 pound mark, 9.72%. Aisha, 25 pounds, girlfriend, like sayonara. In sixth place, up 0.6 this week, down 18.6 total, 9%. Jennifer Strickland, good job, Miss Jennifer. Seventh place, down 2.2 last week while making cookies and eating like 10 of them or something. They were unplanned cookies. 17 pounds total, 8.04%. Janine. In eighth place, down 2 pounds last week, 15.4 total, 6.85%. Melissa, moving out of 10th place up to 8th place. She was in 10th, then she was in 9th, then she was in 8th. Am I seeing a trend? Are you going to keep that train going?
You got it, sister.
So that means she's coming for you this week, Janine. In 9th place, down 0.9 pounds last week, 15.3 pounds overall, 6.4%. Sarah, 9th place. Good job, girl. And in 10th place, up 0.2, down 10.2 total, 5.43%, Jen Ratchford. Last week, you guys were down a total of 19.4 pounds. Total in 8 weeks, 197.6 pounds. 197.6 pounds. That's crazy. Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. So several things, there's so many things that go into success. And one of the things that you guys are realizing is you have to plan for success. Success doesn't just magically happen, but so often when we're watching other people, and for a lot of us, we've watched other people for a long time, like hit their goals, hit their dreams, and several of you have hit goals in other areas, right? Like if I were to look at your guys' lives, some of you have some pretty amazing accomplishments in a lot of areas. But for a lot of us, our health has been like that one Achilles heel area that we're just like, why can't I figure this freaking thing out? And so it really comes down to planning for success, not hoping for success, not praying for success, not wishing for success, not wanting success, but preparing for success, because that which you don't prepare for, you won't have. You know, one of the things I want to talk about tonight is momentum, because momentum is this magical thing where crazy results start to happen. Kristin's seeing it happen right now, where she should still not be losing this amount of weight, but she is. Consistency builds the momentum. Consistency builds your commitment. Without consistency, doing the right activity day after day after day after day, the more of those days you can stack up on your unplanned cheats, the more, the quicker you're going to get to the land of momentum. And when you get to momentum, it's still work. Don't get me wrong. It's still work. It still takes doing the right activity. It's still work, but results are happening faster and the work seems easier and you're actually finding joy in the work versus the work just being the work. You ever been in a place where the work's just the work? And then you've also been in a place where you're like, man, this work's hard, but you're excited about the work. There's joy in the work. You're like, this sucks, but I'm having fun. That's when momentum is there. Crap's happening. Look, I don't know about y'all, but I don't really care how hard it is as long as the results are happening and they're big enough. And I started treating it like my job. I started showing up for myself like I had a job. I started showing up for my goal like it was my job to get to my goal. And when I started showing up like that, when I started showing up for myself like I had shown up for other people, think about that for a moment. Think about how some of you guys show up for other people. Think about how you host other people. You treat other people. You go out of your way for other people. How many of you have ever bent over backwards for other people? Anybody? How many of y'all take care of other people? When you start, and anybody ever put more effort into other people than you put into yourself? Anybody ever been caught in that rat race? Okay, Kristin's got both hands up. She probably got both feet up too. When you start putting the same effort into yourself as you've done for other people, the hard is no longer just the hard. It's crazy when you prioritize yourself, what can happen. It's crazy when you prioritize yourself, the results that happen. And it's also obvious what happens when we don't prioritize ourselves. It's obvious what happens when we prioritize other people and we put ourselves on the back burner. So creating consistency, okay, because momentum comes from consistency, is nothing more than a decision. I'm going to be consistent. It's nothing more than the standard we've set for ourselves. Hear me on this. Our whole life that we're living is a reflection of our standards. We all have a standard. We have a standard with our marriage. We have a standard with the kind of wife that we are. We have a standard with our intimacy. We have a standard with the way we spend in our finances. We have a standard with our health. We have a standard in work, if we own a business, we have a standard there. We have a standard with our employees. We have a standard with the place that we work. For those of us that work for other people, we have standards. And if you look at your life, you're going to find some areas you might have a high standard, and then other areas you might have a low standard. For a long time, I had a super high standard at work. I had a super high standard with what I would do at work, how much income I would make, I had a standard with my spending because for a long time I had no standard and I just spent frivolously and made millions of dollars and had nothing to freaking show for it. It was ridiculous because I had no standard. I had no standard for my money. I had no standard for my health. And when you have no standard, what happens? We end up where we don't want to be. And so my question for you guys is, what is your standard for your health? What's your standard for your consistency? What's your standard for your activity? What's your standard? See, an athlete has a standard. A Major League Baseball player, one of the things they look at is they look at their batting average. They track it every game. An NBA basketball player, depending on what position, they might have a standard of having a certain free throw percentage. They might have a standard of how many rebounds am I going to get? How many steals am I going to get? How many assists am I going to get? How many points am I going to get? And their standard they have has everything to do, the standard they set for themselves has everything to do with how they perform. But today I have a different standard for myself than I used to. My old standard for myself was when I was stressed, I would eat. When things weren't going my way, I would eat. I would, not plan. And if I didn't plan, I would just eat off plan. It was no big deal because I had no standard for my health. I had no standard for my water. I had no standard for meal planning, meal prepping. So, and girls, I'm telling you, you can literally look at any area of your life. And if there's an area that's lacking, it's going to go back to your standard. So what is your standard? If you had a standard for your health, what would it be? I have a couple things I want to read to you guys. Let me get them. Anyone ever feel like they're going through a storm? Anyone ever feel like they're going through a storm before? Anyone feel like they're going through a storm right now? The devil whispered in her ear, "You're not strong enough to withstand the storm." Today I chose to whisper back, "I am the storm." So what I love about this is the today I chose. Today I chose to whisper back, "I am the storm." Even though you can be in a storm, the storm doesn't have to be in you. I'm going to repeat that. You can be in a storm, but the storm doesn't have to be inside of you. This one, it says, "And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. And that's what the storm is about." It says, warrior is a noun, a fearless, strong, badass with a willpower to overcome any struggle. So a fearless, somebody that doesn't fear the future, somebody that doesn't fear the past, strong, badass with the willpower to overcome any struggle. $10 extra bonus points for whoever can tell me where this is from. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Don't be afraid of being outnumbered. A lion walks alone while the sheep flock together. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle that life can throw at you. Grit, noun, to have the drive, stamina, and determination to push through any challenge or obstacle thrown your way until you succeed. See, if you take out the word until, that whole definition is completely different. Grit, it's the ability to have the stamina staying power that I am staying here. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to overcome any obstacle, any challenge until I succeed. Because you know the only way you're not going to hit your goal, this goes for each and every one of you, is if you quit. So I want to chit chat with you guys. First and foremost, I want to know which of them spoke to you the most and why. And then, what is your standard? I want to know, what is your standard for yourself? Where do you want to be in 1 year? What do you want the rest of your life to look like? Because when we talk about the rest of your life being the best of your life, what does that look like?
Well, I'm pretty partial to Rocky, and I've always been someone that roots for the underdog, not ever realizing how much of an underdog I make myself because I don't prioritize and take care of other people, or care about their feelings more than my own. So I am standing back up, and go ahead, swing at me. Go ahead. I dare you. And my standard is high because I turned 40 years old at the end of this year, and I already booked a photographer for a beach shoot for the end of this summer. So I gotta be in the freedom phase by then. So shit's happening. There is not a if, and, or buts about it. It's just going down.
Yeah, I think that one sticks with me the most too. So, our vision has to be really strong, and that's true. So I have learned so much about that with this group, because I think that's probably what I've been missing from all of my weight loss journey, is having a strong enough vision. And so understanding how to do that, you hear that you have to have a vision, but how to do it, like how to just constantly, go to Pinterest and find pictures of what you're going to be wearing, what you're going to be doing, actually making plans, laying out how much weight you're losing each week, and what it's going to be and where you're going to be and all of that. That vision is so important. And I think that's what's making the biggest difference for me. And I just can't wait to get there now.
Okay, the one that I like the best is the Today I Choose, because I'm always making choices, and I want to choose the positive things instead of the negative things. What was the second question?
It's okay. What is your standard?
Oh,
Like,
my standard is very high. It came in very high. I had a standard to lose all of my weight by the end of this. On the 14th of February, I only lost 1 pound, and then 0.4 and 0.2. And after that, I got really serious, because for me, it's not an option to gain weight any week in this competition. It is not an option for me to get stalled on weight to get Carmen's help. No disrespect to Carmen. And I did reach out to her, but when that happened to me, I put my butt to the fire, and I was like, now I'm back to the 1.8 because I wanted to be at the 2 pounds. So, I have a high standard, and I'm not letting anything stop me along the way.
That's my phone. That's Serena. So that is what I look at all day long. My kids are like, who is that woman? I'm like, that's what my body's gonna look like. So it's always weird at work. I'm just like, it's my phone. I can put whatever I want. Yeah. But for me, it's that constant reminder of what I'm going for. Because I'm similar built to her. So why can't that be me? So I think for me, it's that, because I'll make a vision board and I don't know where it's at, so I know for me, I always have that phone in my hand. And so that vision is what keeps me on track. Like, you guys all know I had a little meltdown on my little cheat last week. I'm like, it was so good. All that food. But, I'm so proud of myself because I did not drink. And that's a big deal for me. Oysters and beer. I love that. Right. So, but I knew that that's not the plan. And so that was exciting to me. So you talk about the standard. I'm going to start with the standard and then go to the quote. When you talk about that standard is following this plan, because I don't know, I remember the first thing you said was you don't know how to lose weight. And I was like, you're right. So let me follow what your plan is. And so that wasn't on your plan. You get a cheat, you get it one item. That's all you get. And so very proud of myself for following that. And then, and that's the standard, and rejigging, rejigging my thing. So I get up real early. I got to stop real early. So I literally went back home and got my shake today. I dropped the kids off and forgot my shake. I was like, no, we're not about to go into this day confused about what we're going to eat. And then we're going to hit the vending machine. Like, we're not going to do that. So I was like, hey, I'm running a little late, and it's okay, right? It's like, that's my standard, is putting me first and making sure I have my food. I had all my food with me, but that shake, and it was so funny. After work, it was hard because I went somewhere else. So if I didn't have my food, like, I was stress free. I had my food, the kids, I'm good. So I'm not worrying about, do I pick something else up? So your question is about the quote. And it's know what is inside of you is greater than any obstacle. And I love that because, because this past week, I just have been praying and asking to help me be mighty in battle. And he has delivered, like he always delivers. But I think, knowing that this is a big battle with this food. I was on the Marco Polo this weekend, battling, and it's like, but being able to let those moments pass, that you're tempted, and you're, just like you said, that you'll sometimes test out your willpower and just don't eat for, you're strengthening that. And I listen to that. And the more you do it, it's true. Like, the easier it is. Bad day at work today. Guess what I would have done? 3 glasses of wine and chilled out. But no, I have tea and I have water. And I think that I'm also clear, so anyway, that was a great quote, that those you are stronger than any obstacle. And that is what I'm going to put on my board and right next to Serena.
The quote that stuck out to me is that you will be outnumbered on this journey, because I feel like it's just me right now and my family doing this. But my standard is, like, in my head, I want to lead my family, and I want to lead my husband. I want to lead my kids. I want to set an example. I want to teach them how to do balance. I feel that that's where a lot of people don't understand that you can eat in a balanced way. And I set my goal. It's so funny. I set my goal for a certain number, and then I kind of keep going back and forth, because for so many years I stayed stuck at this one number. But I'm getting to my goal this year. My goal is 145. That's my first goal. I don't know what size I'll be. Maybe a size 4, maybe a size 6. We'll have to see. What else did I want to say? I'm just excited. And what I do is I journal my goals every day. I just keep the vision in front of me. This morning, I did get tripped up, because my freaking pattern is like Sunday I'll weigh, and then I'm so excited for my Monday weigh-in. And when it's up a little bit, I'm like, what the heck? But I had to calm myself down today, because when I did the loss of this week and last week, it was still a 4.9 loss. I'm still maintaining that 2 pounds a week. But my standard this time is to keep going. I'm not looking back. I am not looking back. And I'm setting my standards high. And when I say high, is that I'm not going to let a situation or an event or what people have to say detour me of what my goals are. I'm going to train like an athlete. And I've heard it said a couple times in the last few weeks. I think Nakia said it on our call last week, and then somebody said it tonight. But I'm going to be a healthy, fit, because I'm already a nana. But I went to a hockey game this weekend with my grandkids, and it felt nice just to be dressed cute and having fun with them. So those are my standards and my quote.
Mine was the definition of grit, I would say, is the one that stuck out to me the most. And the reason why is because of that word until. And this journey has been so rewarding on so many points for me, as far as my workouts and being consistent and being able to move pain-free and challenging myself, but also listening and not having that, this is what I used to do in the past, and this is what I can do now. So when I look at that, like, I'm so grateful for all of the coaching calls, Carmen, that you did. And I've heard you over the years talk about the scale is just data. It's just data. And the thing that I love is even on this one, when your ears are ready to hear, they're ready to hear. But I remember going, okay, I'm just going to work out 2 days a week. And then I would push it and go to 3 days a week. And then I would have an injury. And then knowing, okay, I'm only going to do this Tai Chang and think, what a wuss am I for doing this? But the rewards have been so huge for me. And I've been so grateful. But even tonight's call, Carmen, like looking at seeds, like, okay, pumpkin seeds, awesome. They go in a yellow container. But just as you said, that skinny girl dressing, like, choose your calories that go in those, start researching and going further. And all y'all know that I'm a data little freak here. So I'm excited to break it down just a little bit more and keep going so that the scale starts moving the way it needs to. But when it comes to like the vision, I have been through, like, I've gotten to my 145, right? Which is what was here, but I never hit that 22% body fat, which was another goal. And I never got to that point. I was on my way to that when my injury happened. And so that's it. So grit is something that I'll be posting up until I get to that and can stay at that. That's the other thing. It's not just getting to, it's being consistent and staying. So I can't thank you enough just for your consistency and the example that you've set, and then just continuing to drip. And I'm sure you've said that through these calls every time we have a call, but I love that our ears are ready to hear when we need to hear. So thank you so much.
I'm struggling with two of them. The Rocky one was super powerful to me because, very powerful to me. When I got my mentor, which I was so grateful for, I told her, I go, Lori, I feel like Rocky. I feel like from the beginning of this, I knew it would be difficult. I was like, okay, but I know I need this. I need to work on this. I'm someone who needs to, it takes a while to build that momentum. And so that spoke to me tremendously. That was from the very beginning. So the fact that you brought in a Rocky quote, that really spoke to me. And then the last one, the grit too. I was like, I'm gonna succeed. I'm gonna succeed. I had shared with my family that after I had my kids, or my first one, I want to have so much energy that I want to outdo my kids. And I remember holding on to that, and that's still in here. Just, a lot of life and just how life goes, and I let myself go. And anyways, but I'm building that, and that's one of my standards, that I want to have more energy children have, so that I can model very similar. I align my thoughts or my goals to a little similar to Miss Paula. I want to be an example also, to my family.
One quote that really stuck out to me actually is the showing up for myself better than for like I show up for other people. And I'm like, that just really hit here, because I will always put other people first before myself. And I know it wasn't one of the quotes, but I was like, crap, that's what I need to do. And then also like the lion that walks alone, because I often feel like in my life, which I'm okay with being alone, but like just realizing that I need to do that with grace and respect, and also with my health. And, there's a lot of challenges that I've been letting the gray zone slip. So I need to really, when it comes to the food part, I really need to sharpen up my mind. And what my words I'm using, but my closet, I cleaned out my closet this week. I'm on my closet situation because that really hit to me. I'm like, I'm going to one size and there will only be one freaking size in my closet. And I told my husband by the end of this year, there's only going to be 2 things that you see here left in this closet. Everything else will be replaced. He's like, okay. He's on board, but I'm just like, and I took 4 bags out. So I only have 2 pairs of pants right now that fit me, and the rest are smaller. I'm like, we're burning the ship. There is no going back with the clothes. None. So that's where I'm at with my standards.
All right. So first I want to say, Melissa, you can try. But I'm coming. I'm coming down for the rest of you guys. So my favorite one was grit. So staying that course until you reach your goal. That was like when you read that off, that was like really powerful for me. Like staying the course, like that has been the exact opposite of what I've been in my entire adult life for my health, right? Like is never consistent, never staying the course, staying a little while, but then getting off track and gaining it back and just kind of staying in where I'm at. And it almost got to where it was comfortable, right? Like I'm almost got to where I'm comfortable and I don't like that because I shouldn't be. So my standard for myself is very high. 8 weeks ago, it wasn't. 8 weeks ago, I wasn't really focused on my health. I wanted to lose weight, but like that was like, I guess really the extent of it. And then I would try this and that, but never really stick to anything, never really get serious, never really hold myself to the fire, right? To make it happen and to stay that course. And so now my standards are much, much higher. And my goal is 130 pounds by the end of this year is what I'm going to weigh. I want to be comfortable in my own skin. I've already started planning our Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners because we are not going off track. And I know that's way, way out, but it'll be here before we know it, right? And I'm planning ahead. And and I'm stepping up my game too.
The quote about "I am the storm" is my favorite quote, actually. I've got it on a t-shirt that, by the way, is too big, so I have to make another one. So very excited about that. But that is totally one of the quotes that I love. And my standards, up until I started this, I had standards for my kids. I had standards for the house. I had standards for my business, but I didn't have standards for myself. And so my standards really have changed throughout this whole process. We kind of start out, well, let's just see what happens. Let's just give it a try. And then it kind of started to go, well, maybe I can do this, but yeah, we'll see about the other part. And then starts little by little. Yep. Sure. I think, I could do this, I guess. Let's just, keep going it. And then now we're at the point that look at me go. Try, just let's do this. And something along the line that I've kind of cobbled together. I was finding myself saying all the time, I can't do this, I can't do that. I can't get up that early in the morning, or I can't get down on the ground to do some of these exercises. And what I was really saying is I won't. And once I kind of took ownership of that, I won't, I needed to change it to I can do it. And finally making it, I did it. I'm doing it. 3-4 months ago, talking to me about even just walking in this neighborhood, the killer hill that, Kayla can tell you about and Jen can tell you about, Jen Strickland. I would let the kids go on that walk or my husband go on that walk, but I can't do it. But now, now I'm doing that walk, I'm going swimming, and, I've got kickboxing this week. I'm doing it. So now I've got high standards for myself. And even the whole weight loss, how much I was going to lose. I'm like, 180, 190, really thinking in my head, we'll be happy with 200. That's not an option now. That's not an option. My goal is 150. And that is my goal for now, realizing that it can get lower than that, not higher, but it can go lower.
So this week, as we are coming into week 9, I want you to remember who you are today, not who you were 8 weeks ago. Because today, even after 8 weeks, you guys, do you realize how many changes you've made? You went from thinking and dreaming to actually doing. Do you realize that? Like, you are here right now. You are doing it. You are moving closer to your goal day by day. You are getting closer to your goal with each passing freaking hour. You are moving in that direction. You're going from a dreamer to a doer. You're going from the person who sat on the sidelines and had a low standard to someone who is literally creating, writing their next chapter, so that you're not leaving it to chance that the best of your life will be, the rest of your life will be the best of your life. And as your coach, man, next to being a wife and a mom, there is nothing more fulfilling than watching you guys step up and step in to the calling that was put on your lives into becoming the very best version of yourself. And I have, without a shadow of a doubt, this journey that you are on, for many of you, it is going to lead you to places and open doors that you never even could have imagined, thought of, or dreamed of. And so keep going. We're on the journey, but we're not there yet. So keep going. And as we come into week 9, let's keep our squats low and our standards high.